Hello and welcome to this Christian Walk podcast, the show where no topic is too taboo to empower you on your walk with God. I'm your host, Marley B, and it's my privilege to welcome you back to season 5. And this week, the fellas are sounding off on dating in these modern times. A few seasons back, we had some single ladies to come on and voice their perspective on dating in these modern times. And I think it's only fair that we give the fellas their fair share at the mic. We had a great conversation. So let's get into it right now.
Listen, homie, can you walk with me? Talk with me. What you know about God? Will He ride with me? Come and open my eyes for me. Hear my story. Show me more what's in store. And once more, listen, homie, can you walk? Can you walk? Let's walk.
All right, gentlemen, welcome to this Christian Walk podcast.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you guys for being here. I'm super excited. And ladies, calm yourselves down for all this handsomeness us on the screen. Calm yourself, gather yourself, and remember your religion. But these gentlemen are here to share their perceptions with us, and I can't wait to get into it. But before we do, I want to give you guys an opportunity to introduce yourselves to the TCW fam. Let's start with you, Brandon.
What's good, fam? I'm Brandon, 43-year-old single father. I don't know if I'm a single father because my daughter is 20 now. Does that still count?
Yep.
But she grown. I work in corporate America and starting a business. And just trying to live better every day. Trying to get better every day.
Hey, ain't we all? I know that's right. And Donovan.
What's going on? Donovan Brooks, what's going on, everybody here? As some of y'all may know, that Marley is my big sister, so I'm finally have made a season episode. So I'm glad to be here. She kind of waited. She saved it. She saved her car. She was like, oh, I'm going to get them. I knew it was coming. It was just a matter of time. And I finally got that text message like, excuse me, So no, I'm happy to be here. 42. By the government's title, I'm single, but I am in a relationship. And I don't have any kids. Yeah, I don't have any kids, and just ready to contribute to the podcast.
Well, wonderful. Well, thank you guys so much for being here. And I just want to jump into it, right? Because you guys you're single and in a relationship, Donovan, and Brandon, you are single out here looking for a relationship. Is that correct? Or I don't want to say that you're out here thirsty for one. That's not what I'm saying, but you are open to one.
I desire a relationship. Yes, I do.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So do you guys
with the woman?
You do got to say that.
Got to be clear nowadays, but yeah.
Thank you for putting that out there, because that is so pertinent these days. We have to be clear about what that is. And Donovan, do you want to clarify and say you are in a relationship with a woman?
Yes, I am in a relationship with a naturally born woman. So yes.
Right, you got to say that too, huh? Naturally born.
Naturally born. And you know what? That is a great point, because it's a lot of the transgender women that are wanting to be considered as women. And it's a lot of men that think it's okay to be with a transgender woman because they consider them women. What do you guys think about that?
Personally, I really actually think it's to each their own. Mm-hmm. Who am I to judge? The only caveat to that is just don't push your agenda on me. Mm-hmm. Don't force me to change my thoughts. Mm-hmm. So what you decide to do with your life and how you lead it, that's your choice.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with Donovan. I would add to the society using political means to try to protect a group or give a group certain rights that they necessarily didn't have. And And I think, we get into a sticky situation or a gray area where you try, for example, with sports and competition, I can today, say I identify as a woman and compete. Am I competing because I feel I'm a woman, or I know that I competed with the men and I'm not that good, so I'm gonna compete with the females because I'm a win? Like, it's right. And so it's, you kind of dig into the, look at those extra layers and peel back the motive. But like Donovan said, who you date, who you choose to be with, that's on you. But then you can't push your agenda and force your way into different things because you want to be a protected class or whatever. So yeah.
Excellent point. That's an excellent point. So let's go ahead and get to the thick of it, right? Because for whatever reason, we're still having that conversation out here that the perception is for a lot of women that there's not a lot of good men out there. There's no good men out there. You are two good men sitting here right here on these screens, but for whatever reason, that's still the perception for a lot of women. Why do you guys think that is? Let's start with you, Donovan.
Honestly, I just feel like a lot of women who say there's not a lot of good men out there are probably going into the same places that they're finding a bad man, and they're not changing. If you continuously go to spot A and that's where you find your man at, why continue to go to spot A if the 2 to 3 people that you dated from that spot is still going to, is problems? Turns out not to be good men, and you blame it on the men, but can you really blame it on that circle of men, or can you change where you go? There's a lot of good men out there. You just have to search, just like we have to search for a good woman. We have to find different places to go to find someone that, is going to be equally yoked, mentally stimulating, because the physical is you're always going to find somebody you're physically attracted to. It's the mental and the physical that you're looking for, that connection, that mental, physical, spiritual, when you're trying to find that perfect mix. And I use the word perfect loose, but in order to get that, you got to go outside the box. You got to go outside the box.
So you think it's more about location than, us, who we attract, right? Because I think it has a lot to do with that as well, because sometimes no matter where you are, you can be in a genius convention somewhere. And if you are the type of person, I don't know, is there a genius convention? I don't know. But obviously I hadn't been invited. but if there is something like that out there, I think that who we attract, that says a lot about us, and that's gonna be a direct reflection of what's going on the inside of us, right? As far as where we are personally, where we are professionally, where we are spiritually, all those things trigger, I think, or personify, the sphere of people that's going to be, around us or in our lives, whether it's friends, whether it is a relationship, or even whether it's just, even business ventures and things of that nature, because it depending on who you attract or are like-minded, like-minded individuals, that's just it's going to be, a lot of that is based on who we are and who we attract. Yeah. Do you know what I'm saying? And what you think about that, Brand?
Man, I agree with Donovan. That's one aspect of it, but I want to throw in, I think a lot of people, for me, well, not for me, but I just think people have not really dealt with their past hurts. And so they come into a situation guarded, right? And so it's not necessarily that I'm the bad guy, but you're so protected because of what he did that's spilling over when I trigger, or I say, or I jokingly say something that's a trigger for you, that I'm just getting to know you. I don't know it's a trigger, but I trigger you because I say that, and now I get, and so I think is that piece. I think a lot of times we, not just women, we get impatient and we hurry into things. And that physical, like Donovan says, we do that too soon. And now I'm sticking around because the physical good. And I don't really care to get to know what the mental like because the physical good. And we laughing and it's honeymoon and we kicking it, right? But I don't, you know what I mean? I don't get to really know you. And so I think a lot of times, man, we get out of a relationship, any kind, we need to take some time to ourselves and just and be.
Take some
But
time
then
for yourself.
Absolutely.
but then too, I would say the circle. So Donovan is a really good friend of mine, really good friend, like a brother, and so I have somebody who can tell me, excuse my language, you on bullshit, B. Like he gonna keep it straight. Like that's not right. But I think sometimes if your circle is parroting, oh girl, he lame because he do that. Like lame is if I got a budget, is that lame? Right. But in some circles, oh, you broke because you on a no, baby, I gotta invest. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's the mindset. And if you're around people who's always talking about, oh girl, no, he need to do this, he need to do that, or you follow certain people and you got unrealistic expectations, then yeah, you're not gonna find a good man because you think a good man need to have, $100,000, $150,000 a year, have 2 or 3 cribs, and buy you whatever you want. That's a good man. And so they don't, I don't, think they really have a good idea of what a good man is and what he should do.
Let me jump on there with that real quick. I was, scrolling on IG, you know how we get lost down the little rabbit hole. And, I saw this clip and it was so deep. And this kind of it was so deep, and I won't say it was like on the money, but it was really good. It said Lois Lane, wanted Superman. You know what I'm saying? She wanted the Superman. Like the guy with no feelings, but he can say he got everything. He's strong. He physically looked good. All of that stuff. Meanwhile, Clark Kent, the good guy, he doing everything for her. She not studying Clark Kent. He safe. He secured the job. You know what I'm saying? He's really about her feelings. Superman ain't got no feelings. Superman is Superman. You know what I mean? He trying to save the world. He trying to do his thing. And when she finally gets Superman, what does Lois Lane want? She wants Superman to be like Clark Kent. And she can't get that out of Superman because he don't possess those qualities. So again, like I won't say it was perfect, but it was like, dang, I've ran into, and I know some, and I've kind of, sometimes I get called Dr. Phil a little bit. My little lady female friends, they'll call and be like, well, but that's what you wanted. That's what you went after. He showed you this when he met you. Right. He wasn't available, but he took you here, and here. So you stayed around, and he's still doing what he was doing then. He's not going to change. That's who he is. So I think that ties back into, is there any good men around? There are. They just want the Superman to be the good man. And you really got to find that package, that equalness, that levelness. You can't, I don't think you can, it's the rare diamond to have it all in one guy or to have it all in one woman is few and far in between. We thought,
but
Michelle,
isn't Clark Kent and Superman the same the same man?
That's what we're saying.
That's the point.
That's why it's so good, right?
And it's like, but as a woman, can I want the strong save me guy as well as the sweet guy? Or so are you saying that women don't want that? You're saying that they want one or the other? They don't want it to be both. Is that what you're saying?
No, they want it all.
They want it all.
But the way they're going about it, like he said, you meet a Superman, somebody who tells you, right? He shows you a lack of empathy, a lack of your feelings. He shows you that consistently, right? On multiple occasions, but you still pursue him to try to get him to be like Clark, as opposed to saying, you know what? You're not giving me what I need. Clark is giving me this. Let me see if he can be a Superman, right? Let me see if he can protect me. And right, because the thing about it is, you don't know if I can protect you until we get into a situation. And if we don't get in a situation, you never know if I'm a protector. but you're basing your evaluation off of maybe my appearance or what someone said, right? You haven't took the time to get to know me to see if I do got Superman in me, right? Because I'm reserved, laid back. I'm not loud. I sit and chill. You know what I mean? I'm not.
You
So
got the
I don't
loud
get a
part
rah
about it.
rah, right? But you know, she might want the man to die. Rah, why you talking to my girl? Why you? Right. And so it's about, I think, you know, just taking the time to get to know him to see if he got them Superman qualities. You know, he got the Clark Kent qualities, but can you be patient enough to see if he got the protect me qualities?
And but can we generalize that ideal, or is that issue of who you attract? Because I happen to know a lot of women who want a nice guy, but for whatever reason, it's just not working out.
It's not working out because they're not meeting nice guys, or the nice guys they're meeting, they're not compatible.
Well, it could be an array of things, right? It can be that the nice guy just may be, he might be very nice, but maybe he's insecure. It's not always about, how much money he got and stuff, but it can be a matter of insecurity. It can be a matter of compatibility. Like, maybe we just two opposites. Sometimes opposites attract, but sometimes it's just like we're too different. Like if our morals are different, if it could be a matter of faith, you know what I mean? Because my thing is this, you might be a very nice person, but if you don't have a relationship with Jesus Christ, nice ain't good enough for me. You know what I mean? So maybe that is the situation that it's not so much, hey, being nice is just not enough. But it may be that just we're not equally yoked, like you were saying before, that I think that was you, Donovan, that said, about being equally yoked, that's important. And if your belief doesn't match mine, it just isn't gonna be there. Like, had you guys had a situation before where a woman just didn't match where you were spiritually,
Absolutely.
What did that look like for you?
That happened. I would, before we go there, I would just say we need to kind of, I would, with your friends, like define what is a good, like, what is that? Like what, like, we say it and it's very vague.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. And it's easy to generalize, and that's not a fair thing.
Right. And so what's nice for you may be not nice for somebody else. And so we all got to get on the same page in terms of what do you consider nice. But there have been times, right, where, I've met a female and, I'm getting to know her or whatever. And honestly, like, complete transparency, it all depended on my motives, Marley. If I just wanted to smash and care about her spirituality, what she did for a living, how many kids she had, if she was ambitious, and none of that, because it was only one thing that I wanted. And so if it's somebody that I want to, kind of pursue, then yeah, I'm looking for those things. And it's just a conversation, hey, we're not compatible in this area or that area, and had that conversation. But, for what it looked like for me, because I was trying to, specifically one situation, I was trying to do the right thing. And I was, seeing somebody and we was having sex. And then I would get moments where I would feel guilty because I know I'm sinning, right? We go to church together. We hear the same word every Sunday. And I'm, I get that, like, yo, we need to chill.
That conviction.
Yeah, and we need to chill. And she like, for what? You seeing, like, she immediately goes to, you cheating or you seeing somebody else. And I'm like, no, we not married. Yeah. And so it's like you don't get that support if it's something that they disagree with, even if it's wrong. You know what I mean? And so it's like, oh wow, okay. Are you really trying to walk this out? Or you know what I'm saying? Because we can all get caught up in temptation, but it's like, okay, I got tempted, I failed. Am I gonna get back up again? I'm gonna stay in this mud. And when you said, oh, you acting holier than thou now, you brand new now. I thought I was trying to be brand new. I thought we was both trying to be brand new. What happened? But yeah, so you you really don't get that until like you see people in multiple seasons, not just the summertime, but the winter, the fall, the
Amen.
spring. You got to see
Amen.
them in all
Multiple
seasons,
seasons.
all of
You
them.
got a winter woman versus a summer woman is two different women. I promise you.
Please explain. Please unpack that. What's the winter woman? What's the summer woman?
For the most part, when you meet someone in the fall, in the winter time, outside is not as open, so, and we all do, not just women, but men too. We all go into kind of home mode and just kind of occasionally get out here and there. You still get out, but it's here and there because it's raining, it's cold. You do a lot more indoor things. So, everybody's huddled, cuddled,
And
as they
cuffed.
and
Cuffing
cuffed.
season.
You know what I'm saying?
Cuffing season.
Cuffing season. You know what I'm saying? So you're like, oh, this is a really nice woman. This is a really nice woman.
Mhm.
She's very well mannered and things of that nature.
Mhm.
When them trees and the pollen starts to bud and
And them sundresses come out, fam. Oh, it's a whole nother woman.
they get to go in and get the nails done. They want to get out on the patio, have fun. They outside, and so is the men. We go outside because they're outside. We all outside because we outside.
Mhm.
That's a test. That's a true test, not just the women or the men. I mean, the women, it's the test for the man too, because it's a lot more eye candy out there. So
Mhm.
can you be faithful as a man to the person that you've been cuffing up with in the wintertime? And a woman, now she getting extra compliments here and there, you know what I'm saying? And she come home and you still being a normal you, but you ain't giving her as much as she got out there. Now she looking at you funny, like, I know I'm cute. You only said it once. I had 15 people try to buy me a drink today, and you don't know what you meant. Like the grass starts to get greener, So, yeah, you gotta go through all the seasons. That's why a lot of relationships, once you get past a year, it's a little better. But that first year, that first 365, woo,
It's a beast. Now we touched on something, and I know Donovan, you and I had this conversation a couple of years ago. And our philosophies was a little bit different. I already know you know where I'm going with this, right? And Brandon, you broke the seal on it, and I appreciate it, even though I was gonna do it anyway. But I'm glad you did it, so I don't have to get the heat for breaking the seal on the fact that premarital sex is something that, it ruins relationships, right? But the bottom line is, it's not the way God intended for relationships to be, right? And I'm just wondering how you guys, and I'm wondering, Donovan, how your philosophy has evolved since we last had this conversation. But, so I want you to, I know you considering your answer. I'm gonna let you answer last because I know you want time to consider your evolution on this subject matter. But
Amen.
to me,
Amen.
to me, that is the best way to figure out, one, you're gonna be pleasing God, and it's good to have God's favor in your relationship, right? Because that's what you want. You want a relationship that's pleasing, that's gonna glorify God, because that's the one that's worth pursuing to me, right? And in order to get in those kind of relationships, to me, I believe you got to do things God's way. Now, I know a lot of men and a lot of women that just refuse to do that, but I'm interested in what you guys think on the practice of abstaining from sex into a marriage. Is that something you've tried? Is that something you are willing to try? What's going on with it?
So I guess I'm gonna go first, since we're gonna get Donnie a little time to construct his joint. So premarital sex. The last few females that I have tried to date seriously, I put that on the table. I say, hey, listen, if we're gonna do this right, we can't have sex. We gotta honor God. We want the blessings. I'm like, if you think this is long term, and so that's the key for me, right? Because I'm gonna be honest. You know what I mean? If I don't see no future, then premarital sex ain't gonna mess up nothing, because we don't got nothing. So if You know, I go out and we at the lounge and you feeling me and you say whoop or whatever, you call me, hey, listen, it might go down. It's about a 95% chance. I'm just gonna be honest with you, Marley. She called me, I'm going.
95%.
However, if it's somebody that I'm seriously interested in,
Oh no.
I do consider that because like I said, man, the last few women that I have, you know, tried to date like that and we didn't have sex, it just made it easier for us to part. You know what I'm saying? Like
No soul ties.
There's no connection, and although I may have been mad or disappointed, it was easier to let that go as opposed to in my past, some females, this ain't got nothing to do with spiritual, just she said she was done or I was trying to leave her alone, but I just couldn't. It was something that I kept calling, whatever. And so for the most part, I try to, if I know that if I see some potential in that female in terms of becoming my wife, then, you know, I'll be realistic, Marley. I don't know if, you know, we can go the whole time, right? Until we get married. But I at least want to be in a place where we know we want to try to spend the rest of our lives together. Like it's going down. It's like we committed to each other, all that, you know, it's just a matter of time. And if we slip up after that point, but I do want to make sure we can establish and get to know each other without that. And if we, because again, shit, we're gonna get old, and sex gonna be off the table. You know what I mean? Comes sometime in the, you know what I'm saying? It ain't always gonna be sex. So I want to know we can kick it and be fun, have fun, hang out, travel, and so I want to see if we can do that together. So yeah, I'm trying, you know, trying.
I take that because we all are, you know what I'm saying? You can't really say what you won't do, but you know, because that's just, you know, that's just, you can't just say what you won't do a lot of times because we are sinners. You know what I mean? So I get that, but but I appreciate your honesty about it because it's like, you know, you have some people that's just like, I'm abstaining from sex, but you was real about the fact that, hey, I'm willing to abstain from sex if I see potential in you. But, you know, that wouldn't mean you would try to have, are you like you wouldn't try to have sex on the side or, you know, with somebody else?
No. That's it. Like I'm locked in with her, right? I'm locked in. And then too, it's not like because I don't see potential in a female that I'm out here just sleeping with. Like I'm not out here chasing nothing, you know what I mean, nothing like that. You know, it's a situation where you go out, somebody really feeling you, or you know what I mean, maybe somebody I've been running into. Hey, something might happen. You know, I know that, you know, temptation happens, and if you feel me, the devil's not gonna tempt me with broccoli because I'm not gonna fall for broccoli. But a nice little lady that walk past, I might fold. You gotta understand
broccoli. Wait a minute. What is broccoli?
You gotta understand. Tell me with no broccoli.
You gotta understand your weaknesses and how the devil gonna tempt you.
That's pie out here. I make it the apple pie.
But the broccoli, you ain't to worry about me sneaking off or eating something. But yeah, no, for the most part though, Marmar, it is. I would like to, you know, enter in a relationship where we can grow like that. That's the goal. Absolutely.
Yeah, but you wouldn't just yourself say, you know what, I'm abstaining from sex. You wouldn't do that. No matter whether you've met somebody or not, like beforehand, make that decision to say, you know what, I'm abstaining from sex, and whoever I meet, I'm coming off the rip with that.
I'm trying to, like right now, like, you know, it's been some months.
Yeah.
And so I try to put string some months together. So I'm like, okay, yeah, you're doing all right. So it's a work in progress. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna front you, but you know, most definitely, I'm willing to try for real.
Well, that's what's up, because some people just aren't even willing to do that, men and women. I won't put that just on men, because if there's some women out there that feel like they just cannot go without. And
I know that's right.
You know, and we all know that following God is about denying yourself, right? And you know, it's a decision that you got to make every single day, and it's not easy. So I get that. And Donovan.
Yes, Donovan.
Well, can you repeat the question?
Sure. Are you willing today? Like you're dating right now, right?
Yeah.
And are you willing to be in a relationship until you're married, including this one, without engaging in sexual intercourse?
So there's a two-part answer. So the first part is it's possible if it was introduced in the beginning,
Mhm.
I may consider it, depending on how strong our connection is, and a couple of other variances. In my current situation, it's long distance.
Mhm.
So I have been very diligent, very faithful, and we have grown a deep connection mentally.
Mhm.
I've always been a sapiosexual. Always had to have that mental connection first. Of course you have to be cute. You got to be attracted. I have to be attracted to you. I
Mhm.
have to be able to wake up in the morning and look at you and smile. I don't want you going in the bathroom, removing the whole person and coming back. Like I gotta have some sort of attraction there. You know what I'm saying? So, that's first. But then second, it's the conversation. And being present, listening, and when someone checks back in on you and invests in you just as much as you invest in them, that's when you find that deeper connection. That's when it gets good, and your appetite is satisfied because you're being fed every day.
Mhm.
You're getting that every time a conversation. It don't even have to be long. It's just, hey, how was your day? Da 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 da. They recalling parts of something you said 2 weeks ago, holding you accountable. Just regular convo is good, as opposed to having some, cute person that's only trying to watch Real Housewives of Idaho, or Montana, or keeping up with who fighting who and who baby daddy is this and what little
Right.
flip and you know what I'm saying? I don't want to talk about that.
Mhm.
I don't. I don't want to talk about that. You know what I'm saying? I want to talk about what we getting ready to do. What's next? What's your future? What's our future? I'm letting you know my business ideas, and they coming back 2 weeks later. Have you started on that? Did you
Right.
did you go put that app in? Did you file your taxes? April come, like, true story. Like, did you file every day until I did that? And I was like, dang,
Yeah.
you know, my mama, she here, but she ain't here. So,
Yeah.
she right behind me right there. But, Cheryl,
Yeah. Right.
what I'm
I
saying?
get
But
that.
that's the stuff that you want, so that's why it's a two-part answer. So if it's introduced, it's hard. I may give a good solid answer, but real talk, like Brandon said, it's hard. But it's rare that you go find a woman that comes to you just like that. Because women on the other side, they want it too. And if both of y'all attracted, the mood get right, you in there, at some
Mhm.
point. So does it lead the relationship though? It shouldn't lead the relationship. And I've been in those situations where it led the relationship. And
Mhm.
that was the tie.
Mhm.
It become toxic. And I
Yes.
tried to retire that word back in 2020. I hate to use toxic because
Mhm.
everybody used toxic for everything. Everything was toxic back in 2020.
Yeah.
People got that word. People will wear a word out. But
True.
at
True.
the, at the end of the day, I've been there, and I realized that wasn't for me. I've been there, done that. I've had my run with, just connections and nothing mentally stimulating, but all of my relationships have had that mental piece to it. So,
Mhm.
but it has to be deeper. And it's been me doing a lot of pouring as opposed to equal, So I've actually found some equalness, actually a little bit more coming on my end sometimes. I'm like, oh, is that is that an
Come
Amazon?
on.
Is that an Amazon box for me? I'm saying, like, that's my move. You pulling me on me. I do that type of, so yeah. So I haven't had that temptation like I used to have. So,
Mhm.
and that's because I am being fed, mentally. So it's
Oh yeah.
possible. So since we talked two, what was that, 2 years ago? Yeah.
Mhm.
We almost called it Uber home because we was
I was like, I'm not going without saying. We was in that play. I'm Brandon. He tried to raise up on me. He tried to raise up on me like he wasn't gonna give me a ride home. I'm like, listen, I'm just asking. Like,
Oh man.
Look, he
Oh,
getting
we was
his
in
Phillips coffee
Velvet
next time.
Taco. We was in Velvet Taco. She was tearing that queso up, and I was like, man, hurry up and eat that queso.
yeah, that queso was good. But yeah, I don't know how we get on, but I bust out with anything anywhere. It don't really matter to me. But that was something that's a concern for me because I just feel like this is my brother. I love him. I want him. I know how much you want to be in a loving relationship. And I know that you've been, being DBZ for years. And so I'm just wondering, at what point would you go to, try something different,
When
and
you
I'm
gonna grow
glad,
up, man?
and I'm glad that you got there. Hey, we all had to get there. It's a process for everybody, right? But I'm so glad that you are at least open to it. And I'm very glad that you're in a relationship that is stimulating you on a level that's above the physical, because I think that is so important. And more than anything, I think that's what you deserve. Right?
So look, I want to touch on something.
Okay.
Donovan said, and then go back to your first question about good men out there. Donnie, he said something, and you and I talk about this a lot. He said being listened to, right? Listening to me, listening to when I talk, right? Because you're hearing, are you listening? And we him and I, we know that we're not necessarily looking for a female to do a lot, but filling some gaps somewhere. Like, what can you do to help me progress through my day that's gonna make my day a little easier? And listening. So the question to you, Marley, about that is, how well do you think your single friends who want a good man, how well do you think they know what men want?
I think that a lot of people or women that I know believe that they have a good grasp on it, but I think that that's a little misguided for the simple fact that's generalizing in your own head, because you might know what the men you knew up to that point wanted, but that doesn't mean that you know what every man wants. Not every man it should be considered to think the same. Even though, you got those, you probably have those same, some similarities. Not every man likes sports. Not every man some men like to be out in the street and be out in the muck of it. Some men like to sit at home. So I just think generalizing is something that's a misguided thing. And I think if you as a woman think that, oh, I know what men want, which some women that I know feel that they know what men want. And I think that it's a little bit misguided, because you might know what some men want, but not every man. I think you don't know what somebody want until you ask. I think the last thing that the most misguided thing you could do is think that you are a mind reader. And you should not think that whoever is, potentially going to be your partner is a mind reader either, because we have to learn how to communicate what it is that what we want and what it is that we need, instead of waiting for people to try to figure out, because so many relationships break up because the other person failed to read the other person's mind. And so, yeah, I think there's some people that think they know, but that's a misguided concept.
Yeah, I think a mistake that women make is they think they know and they pursue with that, and all you got to do is ask. Like when we talk about, just ask me what I like, what I want. Don't assume. So yeah, okay. Just curious now, but he said that about being listened to. And so, but which one thing all men want? Respect.
Amen.
So
I think that's what all people want. All people want respect. Women want respect just as much as men. And I think that we have to just treat people like we want to be treated. It goes back to the golden rule, you know. And for men, I think that you guys are meant to be the head. And I think that
I think that's it.
sometimes
I'm sorry. I'm gonna jump in there just a little bit because you what Brandon said is key for the women to listen. Like the women that's listening in, what he's saying and what you're saying is the same. It's a little different. When what Brandon said, all men want respect. You know what I'm saying? It's regardless of money status, regardless of social status. It's respect within the relationship. And if you saw that Michelle Obama interview, I think she did with Oprah or somebody, and she was mad at Barack for 10 years. The first thing she said, she's like, I had to learn how to quit going at his head. I was mad at him, but I had to learn how to quit going because if he's leading the household, you got to have a certain level of respect, for him, and I grew up in two households and I watched both of my mothers have respect for my fathers. But then when it was time to turn on, when they, stepped out of line, they was beasts, but for the most part, the respect was there even when they didn't want to when I look back and I started to put like, I'm the age they were when I'm looking like, dang, mama could have really snapped then, but she let him make it, you know what I'm saying?
right.
Like, and that's how things worked longer because it's not being controlled. It's not, being super submissive. It's just that respect. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
And knowing your power. Sometimes your power is in your silence. Like,
True. But sometimes silence pisses people off, right? Because I used to be a bit of a snapper, right? So, and you know this, Donovan, I used to be very, very reactive. Like, first, I was very offensive and defensive, okay? And so, both of those. And so now I try very hard to not react, which means I'm going to be quiet for a minute. I'm going to and I had really pissed the guy off that I was dating because I didn't, I'm like, because I didn't want to react with emotion. Like, I'm okay with talking about it. I just can't do it right now. We got to do it in a couple of days or something like that. But, that basically, he couldn't respect that, which, I mean, it drove him crazy, which that's fine. But this is what I need to do to make sure that I'm not, having high blood pressure for myself or, pretty much disrespecting you because that's what I'm gonna end up doing. And I don't want to do that. I don't want to disrespect somebody that I potentially want to be in a relationship with because I know me, I can't be with a man I don't respect. And I can't be with a man that triggers me to disrespect him. If you trigger disrespect from me, then it's best that I leave you alone because ultimately we're going to get there. And so let's not waste any time because when I check out on you, you're going to be looking like, dang, what happened? So I would like to not do that. Let me be with a man that I can respect. And just to kind of touch on both of you guys' point, I feel like respect is something that should be given to a potential mate. But that potential mate also needs to know that respect is to be earned. It's not something that has to be freely given just because you are a man or just because you are a man who can provide or because you are a man who is considerate when you feel like being. You know what I'm saying? Because some people like, how a lot of people, and I know you guys know this, men who are nowhere near as considerate or generous or whatever, or like them in another way. So they figure, well, you need to be glad that you ain't got my homeboy D-Knock because he'd just come in and crack you in the head. Then I would never crack you in the head. So you need to be giving me all the respect. But just because you ain't knocking me, just because you ain't knocking me in the head doesn't mean that you earn the respect at the level that you think you have, sir. Yep. You know what I mean? So those are the kind of things that we have to be cognizant of, Yep. And when you think about, respect, right? And our perception of the opposite sex, some people think that it's really a war going on between men and women right now, because every time you look up, men are being accused of not protecting, especially Black men, right? Black men get a bad rep for not protecting the Black women. You had the whole situation around Megan Thee Stallion and all that stuff, how it just split opinions down the middle, and that's just one example. But you guys hear that a lot, that the Black man does not stand up for the Black women for whatever reason nowadays. That's the perception for a lot of people. I, for the record, believe that this is a false narrative, right? I feel that, yeah, there are some nuances or some situations where that has occurred, but we should not put that on all men in general. But I'm wondering how you guys feel about it. Like, so as far as the man with the not protecting the Black woman, and then the woman always bashing the Black man. Do you guys feel that there's a war going on between men and women out here, or is that just a narrative that is false that people are trying to make more than it is? Let's start with you, Brandon.
I don't think there's a war.
Mm-hmm.
I think because of social media, the few have gotten the voice, the few, and they got a platform via social media, and people like drama. Like, you just think about what we watch on the news. It's always, ooh, I want to see what happened, why they get arrested, why they get shot, why did this happen? But we're not really talking about all the good that's going on. And I think it's just what people focus on. But in terms of not protecting Black women, we got to understand, we got to protect ourselves, because going to break up a fight between a man and a woman might get me killed.
Mm-hmm.
She might be the one to do it. Get off, he whooping her and she jumping on me because I'm protecting her. And so it's like, every time we see that, we got to stop and think, do she want help?
Mm.
Did she provoke the situation? Because women got slick mouths.
Yes,
not to justify a man putting their hands on her, but if you keep rah, 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 come on. And so, no, I don't think it's a war. I do think, the few have gotten a voice because of social media, and because the society likes drama. Drama gets passed around and spread around, so it's bigger than what it actually is. But yeah, perfect example. I was coming home. It was like 3:00, pulling up in my apartment complex. I'm waiting at the gate for the gate to open. So I'm seeing the exchange between this guy and this girl right in front of me. And she going at him and he going at her, he punching her. And so I park and go up. I'm like, hey man, everything cool? Nah, my nigga, what you need? Woo woo. Right? And so he getting aggressive toward me. And the female just kind of standing there looking at him like, okay. And so I'm like, nah, man, I ain't got no problems. I walked off. Listen, bro, nah, don't walk toward me. I'm gonna get back in my truck and dip. Mm-hmm. But it's just that, like, right.
Especially if she ain't run, or you know what I'm saying, like,
help me, or
you got to read the situation.
She stood right there and watched him and I interact, and I took off and she went with dude.
Right.
Yep. So it's like, we're gonna put ourselves in a situation for them to turn around and go right back to that. We're not talking about that though.
That's true. That is true.
I don't think it's a war, man. I just think, the voice, because of social media, is more prominent, and people are latching on to it and they want to talk about it.
Mm-hmm. Donovan?
I'm right in the same page with Brandon. I don't think it's a war. I think it's what they have done since the late 80s, 90s, and so forth, is to try to divide the Black family. I don't want to get too, Black power, but at the end of the day, all of the great leaders who try to bring that piece back together disappear. Mm-hmm. They leave us some type of way. Mm-hmm. We'll call it a coincidence, we go call it a conspiracy. You can use them 2 C's whichever way you want to, but at the end of the day, they disappear. And anytime you get that movement and that feel that things are coming together, it's something that keeps us divided. You also got to look at what's being played on the radio these days. The music, all of the woke rappers, all of the rappers that actually have substance, you don't hear them no more. And it's not because we're old, or whatever the case may be. They're just pushing mumble.
Mm.
You know, and they say, oh, you're getting old. No, even there could be conscious mumble rappers, but they're not pushing them. It's been some conscious mumble, rappers that actually say some good things, but everything is about guys using girls, drugs, and money, this, that, and the fourth. Girls getting to the bag, leaving guys, using them. There's nothing of substance that we can listen to. No, it used to be some good rap music and some good you used to have a good little mix.
Yeah,
You don't have a mix no more.
this is true.
We wait for J. Cole or Kendrick or somebody like that to drop, and then we only hear them for like 2 or 3 months, and then they disappear. But all them other rappers continue on for a year or so. So anyway, it's not a war. It's really what the media is pushing.
And
Music,
I
art,
really appreciate how you brought up the fact that there is an agenda against separating the Black family. And I really want to get your take on the emasculation of the Black man, right? That is steadily being promoted. And on the flip side of that, the masculine, the masculine, it's like pushing the masculine thing for Black women. Like you have things like Woman King and Wakanda Forever, where it's just making women just like the strong part of the Black family. And I just, while well, I won't say I like Black Panther. I didn't like Wakanda Forever. I did not. But I mean, the Woman King, I feel like it was a pretty good movie, but there's underlying tones there that I just can't shake. Just trying to over masculate Black women. And then you have all these NBA guys and everybody, and the rappers, and just not now it's trying to, a lot of men out there wearing purses and dresses and pantsuits with shoulder pads that's glistening and all this other stuff that it's just like what is going on with this? Like, what do you guys think about this? Let's start with you, Donovan.
I can't even put my finger on it. To be very honest, I can't even put my finger on it. It's just it's getting a little out of control. And I've seen you really can identify for what you want to identify for. That the lines are becoming so blurred. I actually seen a white guy say he identifies as a Black woman, and it's official.
He's a congressman or something.
I think so. Yeah.
He's identifying as a Native American Cherokee, but not changing nothing, just identifying.
Yeah, still married, but
still married. He's a lesbian. Yeah.
They're really neutralizing everything. And I don't really have it makes me mad again, and don't push that agenda on me, but it just makes me mad to see a lot of that. We don't get the 90s. People don't appreciate like people like Eddie Murphy. When you looked at all of his movies, I watched something and it said, Eddie Murphy said, if you look at all my movies, all the executive people in those offices were Black. All of those people, like from the CEOs all the way down. And he said, I had the white people as secretaries, this, that, and the fourth. This was in the 80s and 90s. And when I go back and watch the movies, he's right. You don't see none of that no more. You don't see the mid, like the Best Man and Brown Sugar, where middle class was thriving, and it's just tough. And now, like you said, the women, like, I don't know, it's just emasculating the man, and the women are starting to believe they can do things on their own. They're powerful. And when they say, let's get all the way back to the original subject, when they say there's no good Black men or women single and dating, you really got to go inside. Like Brandon said, sit still. You got to go inside and really understand what you want. Draw that. I want this, and this. Really write down what you want and go find that. And is your goals realistic? Is your goals real? Can you really get $1 million man? Are you doing The $1 million man has his goals too. It's not gonna line up. If you making $30,000, you're not going a $250,000 person that's making 250, man or woman. They're not going to find each other.
They just don't operate in the same circle.
Is that being a masculine woman, or is that being a delusional woman?
That's delusion.
That's delusion.
Right.
Yeah, that's delusion.
That's delusion.
A man that makes a lot of money, he's gotten his money, and this is just reality. Sometimes we're not honest with ourselves, and that's what happens.
Right.
You gotta have circles that's honest. Me and Brandon have honest conversations all the time. We gotta eat right. We gotta do this. You want this, they gotta be attracted to you. You know what I'm saying? You gotta have something that they want if you want this level of a woman. You know what I'm saying? So if I made 100,000, I can easily go get a $30,000 woman that's extra cute and fine. And she becomes my queen. But a woman that makes 100,000, she is not looking. I mean, not even considering the garbage man. You know what I'm saying? At all. You know what I'm saying?
The bus driver.
The bus driver. You know what I'm saying? So, it's I can't put my finger all the way on where I'm trying to close this up at, but at the end of the day, the reality is you got to be true to yourself. Quit saying there's no good man out there when your definition of a good man is not in what you're executing every day. Are you getting up? Are you eating right? Are you trying to make more money? Are you trying to level up? Are you trying to go to church? Are you doing a thing? You want this man here, you got to meet him there. You know what I mean? Like, or, kind of bop your way in, to the top. It's one or the other.
But for those women who have achieved those things, right? They're in shape. They are making the money. Do they
like
have the right to be masculine?
No, not masculine.
Because that's what it's about. Like, I'm talking about the masculine woman. Like, the over masculine, making a woman, pushing the narrative that the masculinity in a woman is a good thing.
No. I think it goes back to the agenda.
It never will be. Go ahead, Brent. I'm sorry.
It's not, but it goes back to the agenda, right? The fact that they want this split. And I think, man, a desensitized, let me just say that, right?
Take your time, preacher.
I think that over time, right, they just slowly but surely allowing it to be more and more acceptable. Okay. You see now that a lot more gay shows, black men on these gay shows. Like, think about all this, man, and who is the prominent figure on some of these controversial or kind of shows, and what kind of light do they show them in, right? So they're just making it acceptable. So it's ain't no problem. But in terms of being masculine, man, this is what I'm gonna tell my daughter. I got a 20-year-old. She's in college. She wants to be an OBGYN. All right, so she's going to be making money there. And as a father, I'm putting her in the mindset to start investing now, because I want her to be financially stable, so that if she pursues medicine, it's not for money, it's because she loves to help people. Okay. But I'm gonna tell her, listen, you got to decide what you want in a relationship right now. Like, what do you want? Because you're going to be in a position where you might be making more money than him. Can you allow him to leave? What do you need to see from him to allow him to manage the money that you bringing in? Because if I'm the head of the household, I got to make decisions. What does that look like for you? Like, what does he have to do in order for you to relinquish and allow him to leave? Because that's what it is. If I'm making females that make money, they don't think that the man could leave. So they want to keep doing it. In some situation, the man be like, cool, I'll take this free ride. But the man ain't gonna want to, I don't want you. I'm trying to put us in position, do something. And so masculine, I think there's a place for a female to be masculine, but when they get home, they gotta know how to turn it off.
That's important. That's important, because at the end of the day, it's about the S word, right? Because and then, the more you are in relationship with God, you understand that he has an order to things. And at the end of the day, the man should be the head. And women, once you are with a man, you should be able to submit to them. And a lot of women don't like the word submit because they think that automatically is some level of servitude. And
Right.
really it is, but it's not a negative thing, because just because I'm submitted to you does not mean I'm your slave. And just because I serve you, I'm going to do that because you're my king. You're the head of this house, and I should want to serve you just like you should want to serve me. You know what I mean? So it's going to be a level, because the relationship, we all know, and Donovan, you touched on it already. When you got somebody, because you was the type that you would serve your woman, right? You would be considerate. You were about gifts. You were about time and things like that. And it almost blew your mind when you got somebody that was reciprocating that servitude.
Yo, she broke the mold.
You know what I mean? It's about serving each other.
I just mentioned something like, man, those are nice. You know what? I'm gonna wait for them. I'm gonna get that.
Yeah.
No, listen. So him and I have conversations about her, or he tells me, and that's it, right? Like, when we talk about respect, it's the simplest things that women can do to get us head over heels for you, right?
Please tell Dish.
I'm about to come right behind him on that. I was just gonna finish before, because I know you want to end, but I got a nugget. I got a nugget too. So go ahead, B.
No, but I'm gonna share this story about a female who listens. Right? I was dating a young lady, and I would ask simple questions. What's your favorite music? What's your favorite album of all time? What's one? Just name me one. Right? So we go through this whole conversation. I tell her, Mary J. Blige, my life.
Mm-hmm. Great choice.
That's my joint.
Mm-hmm.
That's my joint. And so we was talking about it, and I was like, yeah, man, I had the CD, but I lost it. Or I said it got stolen or something. But I said that because it's a $15, $12 CD that if you was listening to me and I just told you this is my favorite, I'm thinking this is your opportunity to do something for me. She didn't even, the next conversation we had about music, she didn't even remember my favorite album. And I was exaggerating how much I love Mary J. Blige in that album. Like,
are you trying to entrap her? Was this some kind of test that you're doing? Is that fair?
No, it's conversation.
No, it's not a test, but I want to see.
You weren't trying to test her, Brandon.
I wanted to see how she was going to respond to that.
That's a test.
Well, I was testing her then, but the fact is, what I would have liked to happen was her to go out and buy it for me and bring it and give it to me.
Mm-hmm.
At the very least, she should have remembered my favorite album was Mary J. Blige, My Life.
And when was this recent?
No, it ain't recent.
Oh, okay. But, that's a trick test. First of all, nobody buys CDs like that.
No, this was a while ago. This was
okay.
Okay,
I'm like, you set her up to fail.
No, listen, but
you said, why are you stupid?
But look, and so this is another situation. Same young lady. She tells me she wants to do something nice for me. I want to cook for you. Bad, no worries. I get off work at 5 o'clock. Okay, good. I want to grill some steaks, but I need you to light the grill. I tell her, I say, listen, man, I've been working all day. I don't feel like standing in front of no grill, lighting no grill. Can we do something else? Oh, it don't take that much to light a grill. All you got it. I'm telling you, I'm tired, but you still want me to light the grill so you can cook for me. We cooking together at this point. You're not cooking for me. I should be sitting on the couch waiting for you to bring me a plate. But because I didn't want to light the grill, you got all in your feelings. And I just told you, I've been working all day. It's hot in Houston. I was doing manual labor, building fences. Mm-hmm. And you want me to come stand in front of the grill like that? And I was like, yeah, she not. And so you didn't listen to me. You didn't consider anything that I said. Mm-hmm. You just wanted to do what you want to do.
Yeah.
That ain't respect.
Go
ahead, Donnie.
Yeah, go ahead, Don.
All right. So in one of my deep thought moments, meditating, things of that nature, just going through things. And I, again, scrolling on social media. I got to thinking, and like women want to know, how do you get a man to like you? You know, how do you get a woman to like you? You know what I'm saying? Like, what is it that's gonna get this man's attention? You know, and what do they say? Mama's boys, daddy's girls, right? Like that's how it goes, right?
Mm-hmm.
We've all seen people getting close, or in peril situations where they're probably about to pass, and if it's a man, he's crying, he's asking for his mom.
Mm-hmm.
He's mama. Some of the last breath you hear mama.
Mm-hmm.
When a girl is frightened, scared, she needs to feel safe. Any type of heightened situation, daddy. You know what I mean? Like for the girl, you've never, I won't ever say never, but how many guys be like, man, call my dad. You know he ain't about to do nothing but be like, man, you better handle that and hang the phone up. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Look, they can't call their daddy. They don't know that.
No,
see, that's what's wrong with
no.
so vice versa, and it's for men too. You know what I'm saying? It's a thing for men too, but for women for sure. If you really want to get to a man, listen to when he talks about his mom. Listen to when he talks about his sisters, or listen when he talks about his past relationship. Listen, he's telling you, ask what happened in that last relationship and be quiet. Put the phone on mute. Don't touch it. Just hit mute and just let him talk and take notes. Oh, she ain't like the grill. Yep, I'm gonna light the grill. He like Mary J. Blige. Well, we ain't got CDs no more, but I'm gonna send him something. You know what I'm saying? Like those little nuggets that Brandon just dropped is gold. And you drop them nuggets and you do stuff for them, because that's what our mothers did to us. They cared, they nurtured us, they fed us, they did all that. So, what was this? What is my girlfriend doing? She's doing the things that my mama done, listening, telling me, hey, it's gonna be a good day. Hey, don't let that bother. Like listening. You know what I'm saying?
But a lot of women have a problem with that, right? Because they don't want to be your mom.
No, they have a problem.
They have a lot of they have a lot of problems with men who expect them to be their mother.
And that's the thing. I'm not expecting her to be my mom, but I'm expecting her to listen. I'm expecting her to do those things, because when she has a bad day or somebody look at her wrong, who I need to pull up on? What? Like I'm doing them, so I'm making her feel protected, you know what I'm saying? Getting her roses, making her feel like a woman, things of that nature, listening. And that's what a man does to get to a woman's heart. You know what I'm saying? Daddy cooked, daddy danced with her, you know what I'm saying? Like those little things you do. It's not I don't want to date my mom, but the things that make me, the things I like, and if you're listening to my past relationships, my issues, you know what I'm saying? Don't do that.
Yeah. It's just about being considerate, I think. Consideration, empathy, those are things that is important. And I also think, just to kind of piggyback on that, right? I think looking at when you're talking about the fruits of the spirit, right? Because at the end of the day, those are the things we should be looking for in people, right? Because your relationships are going to be a reflection of your character, right? If every time you look up, you in turmoil, like you everybody that your past relationships, it's a beef with them, you got nothing but bad things to say about them, that says more than you know about you. It's those people that say, hey, it just didn't work out because we were too different. And then there's those people that be like, he was awful, or she was just a hoe, or whatever the situation was. And then you just like, dang. And then you look up, and then the next girl, well, what happened with her? Or the other girl before that, she was a hoe too. I'm like, how is you attracting all these hoes? And then now you got me wondering, like, am I a hoe? Like, dang, well, how did I get it next up in line? Like, do I want to be the next person you beefing with? You know what I mean? Because, and then, you had those people that they beefing with all they going through friends left and right, or they don't have any, or the friends that they have, they don't trust each other. They bad mouthing each other. Those are kind of things where you be like, wow, are the relationships in their life healthy? Are they edifying? Are those the relationships where you're like, dang, you are the type of person that you're really about being the best that you can be in this life. Those are the things that we should look at to say, hey, okay, this is the kind of person I can attach myself. This is the type of person I could, if I'm a woman, I could lead this guy. Or if I'm a man, this is a woman that I can bring under my hedge of protection, because she's going to give something to me and I'm going to do what I got to do to protect her. And I do believe that,
Yeah.
the fruits of the spirit, like, is she kind? Is she patient? Is she, what are her relationship like? Those are the things that's going to say, hey, that this is the type of person. It's not going to be what she say. So you can listen to a person all day, but at the end of the day, the truth is going to be in the fruit.
And that's why we said we want to see you in all seasons.
Mm-hmm. Right.
You can trick me in the summertime.
Yeah.
You can trick me.
Right. And you know what else I like about you guys, right? You guys are accountability partners. You already touched on that, but you guys have you have really said it. Like, you have those people that you be like, well, they hold me accountable. No, you guys have really made it a point to say, hey, we're going to be accountability partners. So tell me what that looks like. Tell us what that looks like. You guys have meetings and all of that. So let me know what being an accountability partner is.
We're gonna take a pin in that 30 seconds. I had to finish my little mama moment.
Okay.
Real quick, just go back real quick, because
yeah.
Thanksgiving, I was talking about a cake my mom made a long time ago. It was strawberry cake, and she made it from scratch, and she put some type of lemon strawberry marmalade filling in between the two cakes. So when you ate it, it was like a little tart in there. It was strawberry. I said that in November, right? My birthday's in March. Guess what came to me? It's long distance, but it came to me, she found someone in the area that did specialized cakes and delivered a dang old strawberry cake with a little bit. What?
Yeah,
so
that's
it wasn't being my mama. She wouldn't be, but she was listening.
Yeah.
And that was Thanksgiving. So that's a little 30 seconds real quick. But
I
ladies,
get that though. But you're right. Listening is important. But you can listen to somebody or not that lie to you.
Washington tear,
I'm not messing with you. Go.
No, but look, I think that's the same thing, because that would be a characteristic or a fruit of the spirit. So she has some similar characteristics or qualities that his mom had, that and so don't be my mama,
that's
but
kindness.
Qualities I want you to replicate. So
she's a kind person. That, but that's the fruit of and that act was the fruit of the spirit for her.
But back to your question.
So back to accountability.
The first thing, I'm gonna say this first. I don't know if you want to go first. The first thing is, the people gotta want it. The people in the group gotta want it. This wouldn't work if he was half stepping or if I was half stepping. Like we got to a point to where we said, man, we sick and tired of being sick and tired, bro, and we got to put some action behind this. And we agreed. And I think that's it, because a lot of people say they want to be held accountable. But if I say, man, you were supposed to work out today, what happened? And you hang up on me, or you don't respond, like, man, I don't got to do that. Like, bro, I'm wasting my time. Yeah. But you gotta be, accountable. You gotta be willing to be accountable when this brother say, hey man, you were supposed to do this and you didn't, you owe me 15 push-ups. All right, bet, let me get them push-ups.
Yeah. Oh, so y'all have like a system like that, to where y'all have to do push-ups if y'all don't do what you said you're supposed to do, and that's
that was just an example. But we did at one time. We started with a big group, and then it just, it's just us. But I think it's honestly, I think it's relationship. I love that dude, like a brother. You know what I mean? It's any relationship, right? Consistently looking out. You know what I'm saying? Consistently looking out over time. Somebody you can count on. Why wouldn't you hear what that person got to say when you know they got your best interest at heart? They've shown that. You know what I'm saying? From the beginning, when y'all were just cool and y'all wasn't even this, and they was. And so I think, for us, that makes it work, because we might argue or disagree. We gonna do that. We're not gonna see eye to eye on a lot of stuff. But I respect that dude. I respect that man. And because of that respect, it's always going to be good. But yeah, that's the start. Both people got to want it.
And so you guys hold each other accountable professionally, personally, spiritually, or is it just professionally? How does that work?
Actually, I'm gonna jump in. It's actually both.
Mhm.
You know, it started like we meet every Wednesday and every Sunday.
Mhm.
Every Wednesday and every Sunday, he pulling up. You know what I'm saying? And it's gonna be an hour each time, 7 o'clock every Wednesday, every Sunday. Unless we got something to do, we out of town. You know, wham, we'll text. You know, but then that next time we picking right back up. Like we're not missing too many. Sometimes we done missed the whole week because I'm going on that Wednesday, he going on that Sunday, so we don't. But when we both in town and no guy, it's on and it's consistent every week.
But but even sometimes when we do miss, we'll get on the call. We'll hey man, do you got 30 minutes? Yeah, man, let me finish this up. But we'll make a quick call to just catch up.
And so what it started off as business. Brandon,
Mhm.
what do you want to do? He wrote his, hey, I want to get, my foundation going, my
Go back,
nonprofit.
go back to the mob. It started with the mob, man.
It started with the mob. I'm trying to shorten it because I know we wrapping up. But
Yeah.
it started with the mob. It was like 15 of us.
Mhm.
Then it was 5. I mean, then it was 10. Then it was 8. Then it was 6. Everybody got in their feelings when you put that pressure on them. Hey, you were supposed to do this. Where this at? Oh man, I had this. Nah, bro, we got consequences. Do your consequences. Oh man, I just told you I was that. No, life go come. You still got to do this.
Right.
Oh, we know. No, let's. So people getting their feelings. Everybody want to be a beast till it's time to do what beasts do. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? So they would get mad and take it personal when it's not personal. You wrote this down. I want to do this. You mad at me for asking you to do what you want to do, bruh. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? You said you wanted to do this and you're not doing it. So I'm asking you, but you mad at me for asking me about I didn't make this up. You wrote this down. So anyway, yeah, it dwindled on down to 2. You know,
Mhm.
people dropped out like flies because the pressure. When you write something down and somebody on you every day about doing what you're supposed to be doing, and me and Brandon on each other.
Mhm.
Hey, how many times we go meet and talk about the same thing? We got to go to the next level. You know what I'm saying? Like when you text us to do this, me and him weren't even talking. We hadn't talked for like 3 days because we had just got into it because it was my turn to just turn the heat up on him.
Mhm.
And he needed it. He didn't want it. I turned the heat up a little bit because I was irritated. And at the end of the day, we clashed, got off the phone. Like Donnie is the time he talked to Brandon. I'm like, man, me and Brandon ain't even talking right now. But I text him because we still boys. I was like,
Yeah.
hey, sis, do this. He like bet. He didn't say nothing back to me until it was time for our next meeting. He came in, we dapped up, and went right back to business. But he needed that cool off period. But then he reflected. You know what I'm saying? And I also said, hey, I know I went a little da 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 da. And we watched it. He stayed the extra hour. I think we watched the Golden State game. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like
Something was
that.
wrong. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
gotta find somebody that's gonna push you just as much as they go put, you know what I'm saying? Like it's equal.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love the fact that you guys have that relationship with each other. Because like you said, you guys are good friends. You're like brothers. You know what I mean? And you need that like-minded person to help push you in the way in which you want to go. Because obviously we're all in this on this road of life, and we're trying to be the best that we can be and become who we are becoming. And the people that you have in your circle is important. And I'm just glad that you guys have each other and that you continue to push yourselves to be the best that you can be professionally, personally, and spiritually. And I wanted to give y'all a chance to touch on that because I think that is something that people should hear and even adopt, that people in your life are not just there to hear when you're ready to gripe or even pull up when you're ready to fight. There is some real substance in having somebody there to keep you accountable. And that's the kind of thing that can really differentiate who is an acquaintance and who is a friend.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much for being here. I hope you have fun.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
Okay, good. Because season 6 will be coming up, and I'll probably be calling again. Thank you very much.
Right,
And
when this episode do numbers, you know what I'm saying?
I know, right? We're gonna go ahead and throw that up right there. Let's for the numbers.
Ladies, he is single and ready to mingle. You know what I'm saying? You got.
Brandon, I'm not messing with you.
I'm gonna do a little profile. You know what I'm saying? Just a little, like Jet Beauty of the Week. I like long walks on the beach.
Brandon, I'm messing with you. Guys, I love you. Thank you so much for coming to the show. And I look forward to having you guys back very soon.
Love you too.
Love you too. Hold it down. Keep up the good work.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Brandon and Donovan, for coming onto the show and giving your perspective on dating in these modern times. I truly appreciate both your input and your outlook. And if this conversation spoke to you, please like it, share it, comment, and don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Remember, you can still listen to us on the go on iHeartRadio as well as Apple Podcasts. And don't forget to check out our website, thischristianwalk.com. Well, TCW fam, according to Brandon and Donovan, a lot of listening and a little bit of consideration is the key to making sure you stand up and stand out in the dating pool. To add to that, I believe it's all about respect. Respect is something that we all want. And in order to get it, you're going to have to give it. So it all boils down to the golden rule. And if we're treating people the way that we want to be treated every day, that will make us that more prepared for when God sends us that special person he made just for us. So let's just treat each other the way we want to be treated, okay? And never forget, on this walk with God, loving God can be easy. Trusting God can be hard. But I believe we can all get there one step at a time on this Christian walk. See you next time.
Listen, homie, can you walk with me? Talk with me. What you know about God? Will he ride with me? Come and open my eyes for me. Hear my story. Show me more what's in store. And once more, listen, homie, can you walk? Can you walk? Let's walk.